What's the most heartbreaking reason you discovered behind someone's silly excuse to see you? I never really thought much about James always asking to borrow my phone charger at the library. Like multiple times a week, he'd come over to my usual spot with the same awkward smile and forgot my charger again excuse. I'd roll my eyes, joke about him being forgetful, and hand him my spare. He'd sit nearby for an hour or so, then quietly return it with a thanks. This went on for about 2 months. I didn't mind. It was my favorite spot to get out of my tiny apartment, and James seemed harmless. He was always clean and dressed decently, though a bit worn, and sometimes he'd share his Spotify recommendations while we worked, just lo-fi stuff to help concentrate. One rainy Tuesday, things clicked. I had arrived early because my apartment's heating was broken, thanks, old radiator. And James was already there, sitting in his usual corner, but without his laptop. He was just staring at his phone, which was turned off. When he saw me, that familiar, awkward smile appeared, and he started to get up. But I'd left my spare charger at home that day. When I told him, I saw something shift in his expression, just for a second, like a mask cracking. He sat back down, said it was fine, but I could tell something was off. He was tense in a way I hadn't noticed before. I couldn't help but watch him. He just sat there, occasionally pretending to check his dead phone. After about 20 minutes, he got up to leave, and that's when I noticed his backpack, one of those big camping-style ones, partially hidden behind his chair. "Hey," I called out. "Everything okay?" He hesitated, standing there for a moment. Then, with a weird laugh, he said, "Battery's not the only thing that died this week." Turns out James had lost his apartment 3 months ago. He lost his job at a warehouse after being sick for a while. No benefits. And everything just spiraled from there. The library was warm, safe, and had clean bathrooms. My charger? He didn't even have a phone plan anymore. Just used the library's Wi-Fi to look for jobs and check emails. Charging his phone was his excuse to stay in one spot without drawing attention. "The staff gives you looks if you just sit there doing nothing," he explained. "But if you're charging your phone using your laptop, you look like everyone else." I felt like an idiot. All those times I joked about him forgetting his charger. He'd been living out of his car, using the gym down the street for showers, cheaper than rent. And I had never noticed. The backpack was everything he owned. My first instinct was to offer help, but I saw him shutting down just telling me this much. Instead, I pulled out my portable battery pack. "Here," I said. "I've got a better one at home. Keep it." His hands shook a bit when he took it. Not from gratitude, but from exhaustion. How many nights had he spent in his car? February in Minnesota isn't exactly camping weather. "I've got an Android charger too," I added. "Different port than my iPhone. No use to me." That made him smile, just a little. "You're a terrible liar," he said, but he took it anyway. I didn't solve all of James's problems. I'm not in a position to. My own rent takes up most of my paycheck, but I did help him connect with a local shelter that had actual resources. They also had job placement services. He's working again now, staying at the shelter while saving up. He still comes to the library, but now he's charging his own stuff. Yesterday, he finally told me why he chose my spot to ask for a charger that first time. "You looked kind," he said. "And you were always arguing with your e-reader under your breath. Made you seem, I don't know, real? Makes me wonder how many other silly excuses are hiding stories like this."